Hi there, and welcome to Smart and Savvy Unedited. I'm Debbie Davis.
I'm Debbie Kazunas.
We are here now with Bernard Broder. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Now, you're an attorney.
I am. I've been an attorney for 19 years.
And you're running for candidate for the York County Judge of Probate. Is that right?
That's right. I'm running for Judge of Probate. Probate judges are the only judges in Maine that are elected. All other judges are appointed by the governor.
That's interesting. But my question, I'm sorry, I have to ask, what is probate?
Probate is a really important area of law. And I want to backtrack a little bit because a lot of people don't vote for Judge of Probate. They actually leave it blank because they don't know what the functions of that court are. Mm-hmm. And it's very important issues such as trusts and estates, guardianships, conservatorships, involuntary commitments for mental health treatment, adoptions, and name changes. I think those are the basic areas. So they're very, very personal issues, very immediate needs oftentimes, where delays in scheduling or hearings and so forth put off very important things to people.
Interesting. So you want to be the judge who decides all that?
Well, I would be honored if the citizens of York County afford me that opportunity.
That was
Absolutely.
well said. Well
You must
said.
be a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, I think being a judge is
Yeah.
a huge honor.
Yeah.
And I also want to emphasize it is up to the people. That's
Yeah.
part of why I really want people
Yeah.
to vote, regardless of who they vote for. This, your local elections, Judge of Probate, your state congressional reps, this is where your vote really has some teeth.
Yes,
We all know in
indeed.
national elections, we have the Electoral College and so forth, and people get discouraged. But every single vote does count in these
Absolutely.
local.
I agree. I think that we all need to vote. I can't state that enough. You can't complain about anything if you don't go out there and let your voice be heard. I think
right.
everyone has a duty to do that.
And you don't necessarily have to vote for everything. If you're one of these this year who are very upset and are saying, I'm done with it, I'm not going to vote, the local people really need you to go out and vote.
Exactly, and know who your candidates are. We were just talking about that. You can Google names of people that are running and do a little research to find out who they are instead of not knowing or just recognize a name by a sign. Which now leads me to tell me a little bit about yourself, because I always like to know somebody's character, who they are, where they're from, what they represent me. So tell me a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, how did you end up coming to this area, and where do you live? And
Okay. I
Who
thought you were going to ask
is?
me how I ended up here today, and I'm not quite sure of that. But
yeah,
I grew up in northern Maine in a small town called Holton. It's right at the end of
Holton.
Interstate 95.
Oh, yes.
My parents, my mom came from immigrants. Her parents immigrated from Italy, and she came from a family of 12 children. She left school at age 8 to help support her family.
Wow.
So work ethic was really drilled into me. My dad served in the Navy and was a police officer when he was younger, and worked in retail management, and was, again, a very hard worker. I went to the University of Maine and earned an associate's degree in human services with high distinction, and that program was just central to my education.
hold on. What dorm? Just
Ooh.
Started in Ellsworth Hall, and then I lived in Lewiston Hall at
okay.
Bangor
Oh,
Community
beauty, okay.
College, where I
Okay.
was a resident assistant.
I just wonder if we party together. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
It's possible.
It's
I lived
possible.
in Hancock Hall at UMO too.
Oh, okay. Well, I lived at Cumberland, so that's
Okay. But the associate's degree program involved practicums, and so I interned as a psychiatric social worker at what was then the Bangor Mental Health Institute. Got some very, very valuable experience, and I think that will relate well to the probate court in dealing with involuntary commitments and mental health issues in
Sure.
particular. From there, I went on and earned a bachelor's degree in child development at the University of Maine, which again, children's issues, family issues come before the probate court all the time. Having that knowledge of child development and family dynamics, I think, will serve the court well.
Sure.
Yes.
I worked in the insurance industry for a number of years as a broker and underwriter and program administrator, and then I went back to school in my 30s and earned a Master of Divinity at Andover Newton Theological School in
Nice.
Massachusetts.
Wow.
I was in the Honor Society, voted in by the faculty, which is a big honor. I'm very honored.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
And then I earned my law degree at the University of Maine School of Law. So that's my educational background, and I started out as an attorney practicing in northern Maine, actually. I was an assistant attorney general, and I handled child protective matters and support enforcement matters, and I was also cross-designated as an assistant district attorney up there. And then I relocated to York County, and I say relocated because I lived here. I lived in Biddeford in 1979 and worked as a caseworker for Big Brothers Big Sisters of York County.
Wow.
And in the early 80s, I was executive director of the Trinity Learning Center in Saco. I owned property in Old Orchard Beach from 1983 to 2001. And I came back here in 1999 and was an assistant district attorney in York County. So I've worked in all of the York County courts as a prosecutor, York, Springvale, Biddeford, and Alfred in the Superior Court. I've been a hospice volunteer. I've been recognized by them. Again, very honored to have been Hospice of Maine's Volunteer of the Year. I do animal rescue, have 4 rescue dogs.
Oh, man.
Okay, you won me over.
Yeah, I'm good.
You won me
The
over.
dogs do it for
Of
everyone.
course
Yeah,
they
I
do. What brought you to law?
Well,
You were in the social services realm and then the theological realm. Now suddenly you want to go into law. To me, I don't know if that would bridge me to law.
well, actually, at one point when I was going back to graduate school, I felt that I had to choose between earning my Master of Divinity, which I wanted to use for civil rights work. I was not planning to be an ordained parish minister. And that's a very long program. It's 90 credit hours. I think 22 of them are electives. And so I had the idea one day, why did I feel I had to choose between law and theological training? Maybe I can do both. And so I petitioned the faculty and we did a joint program. So I came out with both degrees. And I thought that would be a very powerful combination to have.
Had it been done before?
And I think it is, certainly.
The
yes.
combination?
Yes. Some schools offer joint programs.
It's wonderful.
But you know, many of our laws in this country are embedded in the Judeo-Christian customs.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
And so, again, I think not only knowing what the law is and applying the facts of the law to the law, which is what a judge does, having an understanding of what the real underpinnings of that law
Right.
is again very valuable.
That is so important.
Wow.
Boy, I just wish there were more
Yeah.
lawyers out there that had that
Yeah.
background as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Interesting.
You're very impressive. I mean, you're diverse. I would assume that you know, probably nobody comes in front of you without you having some empathy and sympathy for their plight and their situations, because God knows, I bet you see cases that would break anybody's heart. And with your background, I would feel you're very suited to deal with those, usually some of the most unfortunate, poorest folks in the state of Maine. We're unfortunately a small, poor state, and I can only imagine. So I'm very impressed. I just want I want to understand, so how did we go to wanting now to become a judge of probate? So why this position?
Well, I've never run for office before, and again, probate judges are the only judges that are elected.
Right.
Frankly, I'm not really sure that that's the best approach in selecting a judge, but that is the way they're selected. I see a strong need for a change in the probate court in York County. That's what has prompted me to run.
Good, yeah.
Very good.
I think that's very good.
So with your background, it sounds like you're ready to hit the ground running, should you be elected?
Well, I hope to be, and in fact, I have decided on two things. One is that I'm going to close my practice
Okay.
if I'm elected, so that I can dedicate as much time as the court needs. This is a part-time job, but I will work more than part-time.
Is it? It's a part-time job.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Okay.
Yes. So that's one thing. That will also reduce conflicts of interest.
Yes.
When the judge has conflicts, then we have to bring in judges from other counties, and that's very expensive for the county, because the judges can demand more pay for that, and their mileage and meals and
Sure.
all of that. So yes, I've decided that I will devote as much time as it takes. The other thing is that if elected, I plan to go in and start work prior to being sworn in as a judge. Obviously, I can't preside over cases, but what I can do is start getting ready for the first cases that are going to be before me
Right.
come January or February, because that's part of what needs to happen, is to get the docket moving.
So you can become familiar with the cases, with the caseload?
Right.
That's wonderful.
And
Wow.
I worked very hard in the district attorney's office. I'm known for that. I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm less concerned about my salary than I am about public service. All of my work as an attorney has been public service. Well, I shouldn't say all, predominantly.
Yeah.
Most of what I have done
Yeah.
is to assist the most vulnerable citizens. I've done court-appointed work, and I agree. And with the current drug epidemic, there's going to be
huge.
so much coming before probate. All the courts deal with that.
The saddest thing.
Most of the people at the York County Jail have mental health problems, substance abuse problems, or are grossly undereducated, so that finding meaningful work and so forth is hard. So you're absolutely right. What many people need is compassion and understanding
Yeah.
and motivation
Yep.
to make a change. You know, they have to make the change, but you know the saying, a hand up, not a handout.
Exactly.
And I choose my candidates not a lot of times by what they say, but because anybody can say anything.
Sure.
But by their heart. And it obviously sounds like you have a great heart. You have, you're an independent, you're running as an independent.
I am.
And you are running against an incumbent
Yes,
who's also an independent.
correct.
And been there for a while, and you know, for those out there, look and you know, check the histories and Google their names so you know who's running. And then also there's a
Democrat who's running?
There is a Democrat running as well.
Okay.
Yes, and you know, I like to liken this, what candidates do in asking for your vote, to someone trying to sell you a car, basically.
Okay.
And, you know, I doubt that you would just look at a car and listen to what the salesperson said and buy the car. In today's world, you would go home and run a Carfax and find out the actual history of that car. Or
And
ask
the value.
and the value, and maybe look at the make and model and
Yeah,
see what the
maintenance,
reviews are on
yes,
that car.
yeah, sure.
So I love your suggestion. I do encourage people to Google search or whatever search engine you use. Robert M.A. Netto, who is our incumbent judge,
Okay.
Brian Shabbat, who is the Democrat who's running, and myself, Bernard Broder. And also you can go to the Board of Overseers site. I don't know if you knew that. You can check on any attorney's history in the state of Maine.
Really?
And it's free.
Wow.
Board of Overseers for the state of Maine. And then you can do a search, an attorney search. And so just be an educated voter
Yes.
is my
Yes.
message. Know who you're voting for,
Yes.
not just what they tell
Yes.
you, not just what I've told you. Find out for yourself.
There you go. Lovely.
Love it. And we should all do that.
Yes, we
I
should.
know I will be.
Well, Bernard Broder, we wish you all the best in the election.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And even beyond, even beyond. You're
Yep.
a good man. We appreciate you coming in today.
Well, I thank you both for having me.
This
It's
was
really
great.
been very nice.
yeah.
I appreciate the
And God bless
opportunity.
you for all that you do. That,
Exactly.
we need more people like that that do volunteer work and care for others.
Yep.
you.
So it's Bernard Broder. He's running as a candidate for the York County Judge of Probate. So check it out. And that's our show for today. We missed Carrie today.
I know. Poor thing has allergies.
Not feeling good, but we'll see
Yeah.
her next time. So we'll see you next week on Smart and Savvy Unedited.